All right, there you have it. That's song number one for this week. And I thought that was kind of an interesting song, but it's not about what I think. I mean, we all realize that. What I think matters a hill of beans on this whole thing. It's what our panelists think. So let's go to our panelists. These are the guys who know what's going on. First of all, let's talk to Ian. Ian, what do you think of song number one, sir?
This is totally up my alley. I mean, people say opinion shouldn't come into reviewing music, but you know, it does. And if I heard this on the radio, I'd love it. I'd probably check out the band. Awesome. Really, you know, as a personal opinion, really liked it. Being critical, the snare was lost a little bit in the track. I like to hear a strong snare, especially when you've got such a pounding song, just to sort of ride it in a little bit more. The guitar sounds were great. That sounded to me, and I hope I'm right in saying this, but that sounds like a Gibson, definitely a Gibson, but probably played through something like a Mesa Boogie amp to get that dirty rock sound. It sounded great. The bass was a bit overpowering for my likings as a whole, but the song did have a drive, so it kind of worked. But just bring that bass down a touch in volume, and I think it is a volume issue. It's not an EQ. The EQ was fine. It was just a tad overpowering. As a song, I mean, to me, it sounded like something that Stone Temple Pilots would have done in their heyday when they were early sort of 1992. Took me back to my college days when I was listening to all the grunge, the Pearl Jams, the Chris Cornells, Soundgardens. The solo on the guitar solo was on the nail. That was fantastic. But I didn't like the not good enough backing vocals. That was a little bit girly for my liking, but didn't think the song needed that. And I think overall, you could lose a minute off this song. It was just a big fade out, really, pretty much the same. And to make it radio ready and appeal to a radio audience, knock a minute off it. Great lyrics, songwriting was strong. It's nothing new. It's post grunge rock. I just happen to like post grunge rock, and it was done really well. The dynamics were strong. Good song, strong mix. Few things could be worked on, but otherwise, I did like that.
So what we're looking at then is bring the volume of the bass down a little bit. Maybe do something different with the backing lyrics.
I don't think it needs it. I just don't think it needs it. I think the song was driving enough as it was without them sort of little airy fairy bits drifting in, pan left and right. I just found them distracting, or just turn them right down. I just don't think it needed it.
Okay. All right. Let's see. In the chat room, we're getting a couple of things being said about it. The ending was protractile without enough noodling to keep it interesting. And let's see if our next in-house panelist seems to agree with that. Tommy, your thoughts on this one, sir?
Okay. As always, this is very close to ready to go to mastering. But if I were the producer, again, I would want to make the vocals very prominent. In this type of music, I would expect some type of effecty, very subliminally on the lead vocal. I was looking for that, especially when that phasey guitar came in after the first break. And speaking of that first breakdown, the guitar line after that should have been harder, should have been a little bigger. The phasey guitar, I said, was cool, but it would have been a lot cooler if the vocal was swirling with it. And the vocals really needed to punch out on this. I mean, very much reminiscent of Soundgarden for me. And I don't mean that phase thing should go through the whole thing. I mean, once it comes out of that middle part, that's when the vocals should be bone dry with a quarter inch of a reverb, just enough to make it hang and big. Mm-hmm. Definitely with some hard compression on it to really make them stand out. The drums were a little mushy to me. The kick drum, what bothered me about that, I lost it. It should have been deeper and it needed to be placed. When you do this type of song, this type of music, you have to sit down and decide where you're going to put your kick drum. Are you going to have it above the bass, right there with the bass, below the bass? Very much similar with decide where you're going to put your vocals. Are they going to be on top of the song or are they going to be in the mix? In this song, I would have had it on top of the mix, making it as loud as possible, but still making it possible for the music to come through. It needed definitely a better mix overall. A lot of it could have gone to mastering and it could be fixed. And the Backhawks at the end, live or die, wouldn't matter to me. Will it sell another record or two? I really don't think it would matter. It's a good song. It was tightly played, professionally. I think whoever did it did a good job. Maybe it was all live, or the drums were sampled and the guitars and everything else was really live. But I like it. But, it could have been better.
Okay, sounds good. Fair enough. Do you think that the bass issue, do you think the bass was too loud, like what Ian said?
Well, I should have mentioned that when I covered that. That's one of the things that would have fixed what Ian said. When you decide where the heck you're going to put your bass and your kick drum, it clears all that up.
Okay. All right, that makes sense. Let's go to our guest panelist, Jon Hodgson. So what did you think about this, our first selection?
Well, the first thing is I like the fact the intro took no prisoners. It was straight in, bang. Knocked me for six, really. Only problem there is that then it took half the song for my ears to recover. But that's just because I wasn't expecting it. The guitar tone I liked. I'm not sure if perhaps it was clashing a little bit with the vocals in the beginning of the song, in terms of where they were fitting in the spectrum. At the end, I was hearing it clearly, so it may just be my ears just getting used to it a bit. That's the problem with having to listen to this thing just once, as you guys know. Other main things for me were tend to disagree with Ian on the solo. Although it fitted just fine, I didn't find it particularly interesting. And then the thing is, if you're going to make a sort of a simple, tight solo like that, then don't go into a long section where it repeats for ages as well. The end was a little bit monotonous for me with the endless, as Ian said, it's a long fade out really. But in terms of sound, I liked it. I liked the song overall.
Okay.
It did sound like at the end there, they were looking for parts to add and just threw some things together.
Yeah, I felt like if you're going to have it that long, then have something happening, keep the interest going. Have things changing.
That makes sense. Let me introduce this song to everybody. As people who normally watch this show know, we don't let our panelists know the name of the song, who it's by, or the genre it's in until after they've had their say.
Was it called Not Good Enough, though?
No, it wasn't. It was not, actually.
What?
It was not. This song was called Desperate Measures by, as signed up on the website, as signed up on msi.icweekly.net, Leftwich, Sleftwich, and a rockin' song. I think there's no doubt about what genre it's in. But
they should change the name to Not Good Enough.
You think that, above all things, they should also change the name?
That's the hook.
Why not? Why not go through it and have them change the name? All right, let's see. In the chat room, we have concurrence regarding the backing vocals